Hey, yeah, what's up? This Disciple Marshall Occurrence Rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-America all day, anti-cop all day, and everybody with them, yeah. So we're gonna address all these spiritual wizards and telepaths in our campaign too. We got I don't deal. I'm anti-witch all day. The Bible says, "Suffer not a witch to live." Didn't say black witch, white witch. The Bible says, and this is God's perspective, "Suffer not a witch to live." Okay, okay. So there you go. Boom. We're gonna touch on the wizardry and all these wizards, all these people that practice wizardry, people that are witches and telepaths and psychics that think they're riding around and think they're some good old soldiers and warriors. We're high ranking and all of this. Okay, then explain this to me. Your telepath community has been around for how long in America? And you didn't have the mind, your telepathic power and psychic power did not tell you about 40 states allowing adults to have sex with children. Your telepathic power, this is where we're gonna show rank. This is why I told you, I don't think I'm at the above them. I know I am. I know that I'm above their spiritual rank. Because with all your brain powers and reading of brains power, you could not find out the obvious things right before the community that were detrimental to the perspective of the community. You find any psychics and telepaths telling you about 40 states allowing adults to have sex with children? Any telepaths and psychics knew this was going into law? Why they didn't stop it? Why they didn't stop these laws? Why they didn't tell the right people? Because they don't rank that high. They don't rank that high. If you did, why you didn't reveal it? You got all this telepathy, you got all these psychic powers, you got all this witchcraft and warlock power, but you couldn't find out that our children were being harmed by the laws, could you? You couldn't find out our children were in danger by the laws. So I think prophets outrank telepaths, psychics, witches, and warlocks. I might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but it looks like prophets outrank telepaths, psychics, and witches and warlocks, guys. Because why they ain't tell you about it? Why when I got myself connected back with the Lord and I got connected back in being with the Lord revealed it to me, but he didn't. But they ain't got no source. Their source couldn't reveal it to them. Their source couldn't reveal that the age of consent is the lowest in America of all time. That's a world history record. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about presently, because presently is still messed up too. But they have the lowest record in world history. Why your psychics didn't tell anybody? Why your psychics and telepaths and all these psychic cops riding around? How come you didn't tell why come you didn't tell the government and you didn't tell the community or tell anyone or inform anyone so that we could do something about 40 states allowing adults to have sex with children? I mean, and this is public information. I remind you guys, this is public information, and you didn't find that information. That information was not radiating to you in the atmospheres in this community, in the system of this community. That information did not radiate to your mind, right? You didn't get it, right? You didn't find it. You wasn't led to it, was you? Okay, then. So that means you're lower ranking than the prophets and the prophetesses. Let's get that understood. We don't care how much you read minds. We don't care how much you know about thoughts. And it's just, all you know is you have a skill that you've been groomed by Satan with a skill. You might not know. You have to look at my other videos to understand about the grooming of Satan, Satan's grooming of psychics and telepaths and witches and warlocks. Okay, so I'm not debating to you that you have a gift. You've been groomed, and your gift is mutated by the satanic kingdom. Okay, but you sit back and you think that, oh well, You're this, that, and the third. Let me help you understand something. Me and you are not rivals. You're not my arch enemy. You're not high ranking enough. You're not. Let me get that understood, because some people think spiritual people versus this side. That's not my arch enemy. They don't rank high enough. When you can sit up for decades and decades and decades and not know 40 states allows adults to have sex with children, not know that America has the lowest age of consent for sex, not know that 12 states right now allows adults to marry a minimum age as low as 7 and 5 years old. Now, your psychic power didn't tell you that, and that was put into law less than 3 years ago. Just in case you think, well, I wasn't here. You was here 3 years ago. You was here 3 years ago, didn't have it revealed to you, did you? I'm just saying, these are psychic people, guys. You might think I'm talking, they believe they have psychic power. They believe they have telepathic power. They believe these things. But let me show you how effective it is. As far as finding out the worst evils and the worst things in the community, they haven't done it. Versus me revealing it to you and claiming that I have a prophetic gift. I'm revealing to you the evils in your country. So who do you believe in? People that's riding around like Mario Go-Kart that can only see in one organ? That's what I wanted to say. You only can see into the brain. Okay, whoopity-woo. Whoopity-woo. But where has that got you though? What have you manifest according to your ability to read minds? What great accomplishments have you achieved? I'm showing you what I achieved. I found out what the prophetic anointing that's on me revealed the hidden evils in your community that you've been sitting up getting praise in. You don't rank as high as me. I want you to know that. I'm not being arrogant. I'm identifying ranks. When you go in the military, you don't say, well, that guy think he's bad. He's a general, he think he's bad. No, he's identifying himself. I'm a general and you're not. Okay? So you got to remember, in this spiritual world, God's side ranks the highest. God is of the spiritual world. So how y'all rank higher than us? I'm just telling you, how you think you're going to win this fight? Because you're human. You got to remember that. You're human at the end of the day. You're not a spiritual being. You're a spirit in a human body. And you're finite. You're limited as a human. I'm connected to the spiritual world with the highest being in the spiritual world. So when you try to use spiritual talents and gifts, we rule in the world that you're using them in. Make sense? Whether you're using voodoo, any type of divination, hoodoo. People don't know what hoodoo is. It's low country voodoo. That's what they call it. But it's a form of witchcraft that is very popular in the African American community. Very popular among young African American community members, I might add. So you got voodoo, hoodoo, Santeria, and you have a host of other forms of witchcraft. Okay, voodoo is not no religion. This is witchcraft. Okay, this is how people hide. Well, this is a religion, or our culture. No, it's witchcraft. I've already studied and seen people who, real practitioners, and it is witchcraft. Okay, you can't butter it up and make it something else. But through all of the things that they possess, and they say they possess, they could not find out the greatest evil in the community. You couldn't find out the greatest evil in the community, huh? But the prophet did. The prophet got back with God, got energized, got in the spirit, and revealed things that you couldn't reveal. Whether it be psychics, whether it be telepaths, all you doing is riding around surfboarding in the spiritual world. That's all you're doing. Skateboarding in the spiritual world. Okay, you skateboarding, but what you doing out here? Just like ain't no different than a teenager out here skateboarding, but you think you a gangster. You out here skateboarding, yeah, but what you doing? That's all you are. That's all you telepaths are. Yeah, you skateboarding around and everything. You think you Bart Simpson, whatever you think you are. But what are you manifesting? What are you revealing though? That's what we want to know. And therefore it goes back to my other video that I made yesterday. These people are not necessary. They're gonna start getting shaved off of humanity because you're not an asset to our community. You're not an asset to the real core community of good. Good is the real, first of all, the core of the community. Everybody that's evil and stuff, you're I'm sorry, but as far as the spiritual principles and everything, you're disposable. You're disposable in the state that you're living. You could be thrown away like trash and it's over. That's why I'm still here, because I'm valuable in the spiritual world. Okay? And I'm still proving it all the time. I'm revealing stuff that your community don't know about. Okay? Nobody ain't talked about it. And if you sit here and lie, then you're lying. Your whole identity is fraudulent. You didn't know this information to the entirety. You did not. And the entirety makes all the difference. If you did not know it was 40 states that allows adults to have sex with children, you did not know the entirety of this information. Therefore, the whole portrait of American perspective. Oh, well, I knew New York. Everybody knows New York. The age of consent. That ain't nothing. You did not know 40 states allows the age of consent to be under 18. Why you ain't reveal it to nobody? You didn't know 12 states allows adults to marry as low as 5 and 7 years old right now in America, and those laws went through less than 3 years ago. You got all these psychic powers, you got all this witchcraft power, but you're not able to see your own country and system that you live under. Because at the end of the day, whether you're a psychic, whether you're a witch or warlock, you have a social security number. Okay? You're not a total spiritual being. So you can't intimidate me with that foolishness. You have a social security number, and your social security number can be dissolved. You can cease, your social security number can cease. And that's the bottom line. There's no intimidation here. You can cease as far as a social security number, the number that you are. In other words, you just a number. You're just a number, buddy. Welcome to the real world where you're just a number at. Because at the bottom line is, you have not revealed the worst things to humanity. While you trying to think you're some telepathic hero, then if you're a telepathic psychic hero, then why have you not revealed to the community that the ages of consent for sex is under 18 in 40 states? How come all your psychic power and your psychic heroic power and energy have not revealed that the age of consent is below, the age of consent for sex is below 18 in 40 states, and there's 12 states that allows men and women to marry as low as 5 and 7 years old. Right now in America, those laws went through less than 3 years ago. In 12 states in America, which is a quarter of the country. A quarter is significant, by the way, just in case you think it ain't. A quarter is brought up constantly as far as percentages and averages. It's a significant percentage. 25% is the beginning of significant percentages. A quarter of this, a quarter of that, and a quarter of your country allows men and women to marry with the law of no minimum age, which means they can marry as low as 5 and 7 years old, man. How come all your psychic power didn't reveal that one? How come your telepathic power didn't see this coming? This was less than 3 years ago. Just in case you say, well, I wasn't around. You wasn't around 3 years ago? And technically it wasn't. It's not 3 years yet. It's 2 years and some change. And you were doing the same thing at that time. All you psychics, telepaths, witches, and warlocks, you were doing the same thing. Back less than Back at 2 and some change years ago, you was doing the same foolish bull that you're doing now. I'm separating the men from the boys, guys. I'm separating the girls from the women. Okay? That's what I'm doing here. When we talk about real spiritual power, real solutions. Because real spiritual power, hear me good, real spiritual power should bring solutions to society. And the strongest spiritual power will bring the greatest solutions to society. And it is a great solution to expose these people that have set laws that allow adults to have sex in 40 states. That's what my spiritual gifts do. I reveal what's going on. You're supposed to be a psychic. You're supposed to know all what's going on. You're supposed to be able to see things. You're a seer. That's what they call you. You're supposed to be. I think that's some of them are in the category of witchcraft to call themselves a seer. But you ain't see this though. You didn't see this though. Yeah. You say you're high ranking. You say you this and that. You say you're on my level. Then why you ain't revealed what I revealed then? Huh? You're supposed to be a solution to society. This is the biggest problem, guys. I'm revealing stuff in the government. Did I go and infiltrate like 007? I did not. Did I go and act and have a terrorist operation to find out this information? I did not. Did I hack secret data? I did not. I was led by the Spirit of God, I believe. I was led by the Lord. And yet you got these people thinking they on my level. You got these people thinking they somewhere near me. Me and you ain't in league. You in league with carnal men. That's still your adversary. And because you're carnal and evil, your rivals are one another. Your arch enemies are different divisions of witchcraft and all of that. We fight spirits. You fight people. We fight high-ranking spirits. We fight high-ranking fallen angels. You fight people. You put stuff on people. That's your main thing. My main thing is way above that to masses. That's why one little practitioner, man, that's a drop in the bucket. You playing with some serious fire here, buddy. This is some smoke that's going to cause you to have a heart attack. Yeah, you take a hit of this, you're going to have a heart attack, buddy. You don't want this kind of smoke. I'm covering masses. You doing the same thing you've been doing over the years, handing these halfway situations out to people. And sometimes you just ain't right. I've talked to people. Sometimes it just don't work. Oh yeah, I've listened to people. I would say. I meant to say. I listen to these practitioners. I study them. Unlike these other Christians, these spiritual warriors, I watch and listen to these voodoo practitioners. The real ones. And I conclude that we still are more high-ranking than they are. I mean, they won't have really no problem with saying that when they realize the facts, the real ones. But you act like you high-ranking. You act like you in my league. You act like you in league with me, and you're in league with human beings. You got any voodoo people fighting spirits? I mean, without anybody coming to you, without anybody coming for help. Are you fighting spirits in the higher realms? They're not. That's not what they do. They think they're helping humanity, and they take and listen to people's problems and whatever, people greedy needs of love and all different other kind of things. You're in a lower realm of humans. You're dealing with humans and their emotional needs and greed. That's where you at. You ain't up there fighting spirits like we do. That's why we got to differentiate the difference. You're not in league with us. If you were in league with us, you would be fighting spirits. You might not be, you'll be fighting the opposite of the spirits that we fight. That's what makes you in league with us. You're not fighting the opposite of what we fight. You're not doing that. In order for you to be fighting the opposite of what we fight, you would have to actually be fighting angels. I'm gonna say that again. In order for you to be in league with us, and rivals of us, and arch enemies of us, you would have to be fighting angels, archangels. You're not fighting angels and archangels. That's ridiculous. So how are you our rivals? That's Americanized foolishness that's got your country in trouble. Yeah, you send these little people out here, we're gonna tear it all up. It's gonna get all tore up. I'm telling you, that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna get all tore up because they're juniors. Like baseball, junior leagues. We're major leagues, man. It's ridiculous. They're not even softball. Those are little leagues, man. Look at the consequences. COVID-19 on the whole world, man. We ain't playing no games. These people are out of league. You deal with humans. You deal with human affairs. When you cast curses or trying to heal people, all these love spells and all that, what does that tell you? You're dealing with you're dealing with the human realm. We're dealing with the spiritual realm, with demons, principalities, and ultimately Satan and Satan's kingdom. You're not doing that. You're not fighting God's kingdom, and you're not fighting Satan's kingdom. So what are you doing? You're not in league with us. You're not fighting Satan's kingdom. You're not fighting God's kingdom in the spiritual world. You're not doing that. So you're out of league, buddy. That's all I'm telling you. That's why the Bible makes it clear. We fight not against flesh and blood. A lot of people say that the only reason they bring that up, you bring it up for people that you think wants to fight human beings. You tell them, well, we don't fight against flesh and blood. What David do? David fought against flesh and blood. That was Goliath. Perfect example. Perfect example. And if you're a historian or a student of Bible history, you would know that many times the people of God fought physical tribes. So what does that mean? With that history, what does it mean then when it's talking about fighting not against flesh and blood? We don't fight against flesh and blood. What it means is our primary battle is between all of those spiritual powers that are named. That's our foundational fight. That's what we are in league, if you will, of fighting. Okay? But we clearly see other scriptures that show us that humans do perish coming against God's kingdom. David and Goliath is the perfect example. Why didn't David fight the principalities around Goliath? Why didn't he fight the spirits only around Goliath? Goliath put himself in a position to die, playing around God's people. Yes, obviously. He encountered God's people. Okay, this is the reality, guys. You know what I'm saying? These people, these practitioners, these voodoo practitioners, have not revealed things that I'm revealing to you. With all you can pick the strongest one out of the world. You can pick the strongest man, witch, warlock, or strongest witch out of the world, and I know that we rank higher than they do. Which means to you people that spend money with them, that all your spending money with them is going to be in vain when they try to go to war with us. They can go to war with these carnal people and probably prevail. But when it comes to people like me, that's connected to the spiritual world, they don't even stand a chance. They don't even stand a chance. They're not even in league with us. It's two different leagues. It's like football and basketball. How you over here trying to play basketball and we playing football? It's ridiculous. And that's why you got ridiculous results. See what happened to your country? All that witchcraft backfired. Still backfiring now. Now you got Omicron. I'm telling you, laws and legalities in the spiritual world. It's no debating this. For all you people that's voodoo beat hip hop, this is where you end, buddy. You can be voodoo and hip hop with somebody else, thinking you some trap dude and you gonna do curses. You come over here, man. We gonna take more than you willing to give. We're gonna take more than you're willing to give. I promise you that. When it's all said and done, more is gonna be taken from you than you're willing to give.